Do. Hello, people. Recording started now. Back onto the Epic 7. Just gonna do these real fast. Then we'll do our one chapter. And everything will be nice.
Should we get started?
Is it my turn already?
Worth.
Last time,
I desire your
what
flesh.
was it? Oh yeah, Dagger Sakar got found out for having a vampire, and of course they had to use racism once again to move the plot along. Or rather, prevent the plot from favoring the protagonist too much. That's the only method they really have. Let's see here. Butcher Core. And another blue, looks like. Carmine Rose. I went to storage? Bah. Racism makes the world go round. No, it makes yours go round, bathwater. Just imprint those who need it. Ah, yeah, you. The Maid Kingdom. I don't even remember picking up a copy of you. I remember picking up the first one, but not the extra. Hello, Aiden, who I still can't make better. Oh, I can put this on at least. Forgot to do that. I've currently got free 10 summons. Ready? Let's do one of those. Oh. Who is this? An extra Brig copy. Won't say no to that. Oh. What? Another Dust Devil. I feel like I'm cursed with this friggin' thing. Not as much as Infinity Basket, but... Yep. Holy a 5-star artifact. Holy Sacrifice. Chance to be revived with 25% health and granted a barrier for 1 turn after dying. Barrier strength, max health, only be activated once, and at max level it has a 100% chance. This is a really lucky free 10. Jesus Christ. Another 5-star, Idol's Cheer. Increase combat readiness of the ally with the highest attack 10% whenever you're attacked. That's kinda neat. You have to put it on a Soul Weaver, though. And typically you don't want your Soul Weavers getting hit, although if they're using Cleave, it's gonna happen anyway. Yeah, but this is a lucky-ass 10. Like, sometimes you don't get even a 4-star artifact. I got a 4-star artifact, 2 5-stars, and a 5-star character. And the normal freebie, just Helga. Give me that.
Yeah, at this point, I should just end.
Inventory is full again, because of course it is. Interesting. My new brag is stronger than my old one. Technically. Whatever. He's apparently pretty good. I just loathe the grind in this game. I'm almost positive I'm full on Jex. How about Januda? Yep, full on both of you. Even that Corvus, because if I ever get a Dark Corvus, I can feed that to it. Keep dupes of people with alternates. And then you can just feed them this blood ritual sacrifice. To the episode. Chapter 6, A Monster Devouring a Monster. Right. When we left off, who I assumed to be Cain was asking Haste for something. Haste and Melissa kind of fell for it. Chapter 6, A Monster Devouring a Monster. Diablerie. Are you unable to endure even this much, Melissa? Perhaps my expectations were too high, even for Conwell Lenoe's paramour. Don't disappoint me. Ah! Damn it. Come on. Why can't you just take the easy way out? You're just wasting everyone's time and energy here. So stubborn and temperamental. That's why people always leave you. Do you understand? Shut it. Your resistance is futile, Melissa. Just surrender and join us. You can have everything you've always wanted. The immense power you've yearned. The family that would never betray you. Everything. So just hand over whatever Lord Cain wants, and pledge your undying loyalty to him. Abigail, Haste? He isn't really our family. I'm going to fight until the end. Pathetic. You can barely stand on your own now. And what? You're going to fight until the end? Are you all talking with nothing to show for it? Wait. Have you heard her? Oh, look who woke up to join the party. I am going to kill you. Oh? I have the impression that threats are one of the few things to impress Cain, even slightly. It's like, if you can back them up at least. Haste! I'm afraid I need to ask you to stay still, Melissa. Please do as I say. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen you this desperate, Abigail. I had such high expectations for you as well, Lenoe boy. I know you haven't awakened as a vampire lord yet, but I never imagined you'd be such a young, frail cub. Seriously? He can't even handle this. Is it impossible to awaken him no matter what I do? I suppose I didn't really need all these elaborate traps to catch, well, you. Isn't that right, young master? Stop, Cain! You're not really going to kill him, right? Haste is the last survivor of the Leno family. If he dies, that's the end. And... wasn't there a pact among the three families, yours included? Preserve each other's bloodline? The final vampire lord of Arasia, it seems only fitting that you on it. I have no intention of killing the boy. Of course, he may not function as well as before when I'm done with him. A word of advice, young lady. There's no such thing as an absolute fact in this world. Who's to say that the Leno boy over there is the sole survivor of his family? And if he awakens, I'll no longer be the final vampire lord of Arasia either. Have you come to your senses, cub? I'll give you a little nudge to help you unleash your true power. You feel like you're paralyzed by terror? Try screaming your lungs out. Now?
Don't you see? You're not fit to survive!
Alright. Bit gravelier than I was doing. Ah! Oh, Melissa was there then. Melissa! Melissa! I told you to hold on to her tightly. Jeez. Who was supposed to be holding on to her other hand? Don't put all the blame on me. Now, run, Haste. But, go, find your friends. Melissa, go. Ooh.
You can't close your eyes. Yes!
Melissa's kinda his stepmom.
Son of light. Burn!
She's not his actual mother, but it was the lover of his dad, which close as you need to be in this day and age.
I love you. Stay with me.
Which is the distant
smell
past
living
and
creatures.
distant future simultaneously.
Okay. I think I'm going to faint.
I'll protect you.
Your love. I'll wrap you up tight.
Found you. Don't let them escape.
It's filled today. Yes, Benny, all your love.
There we go. Yes, the normal funny breakthroughs.
I'm scared. Yep.
All right, let's do this.
I desire your flesh.
Want to know about my family? Hold me.
No turn for you.
Breathe no more.
Alright, you get a turn. Ow. Ow.
Can't close your eyes. Hello?
I'll protect you. Help!
Mr. Love, I believe in you, Papa. He's going to eat his fill today.
Imp King. Doesn't really look like an imp. I don't know how you managed to become the king of them.
Listen,
Welcome to my
to
world.
my soul.
Renew your definition.
Should we get started? I hope you're ready.
And dead. Can't just run off like this. That king guy is gonna hurt. But what should I do? Even if I go back now, no way I could beat him and rescue Melissa. Damn it. There he is. Aw, I'd hate to be the one cutting this fun game of hide-and-seek short. Maybe you should refrain from muttering unnecessary words, Elvira. I don't want to resent you for causing another mission to fail. You think everything that comes spewing out of your mouth is pure gold? He was targeting me specifically from the beginning. I swear he was, but why? No, I can't waste any more time thinking about these things. I need to go find Elagos as soon as possible. There's nothing he can't solve, so I'm sure he'll figure out a way to rescue Melissa in no time. Russell. Huh? Tisk tisk. Knew you were going to step on that twig. I didn't know there was another one. Stop making excuses and go grab the book. Huh? Where'd he go? I think that little dot over there near the horizon is him. Whoa. He sure is swift. Didn't even notice he was gone. You gonna tell Lord Kane? Tell him what? I made a mistake and ended up letting him get away? I'm not a snitch. I just go after him. I have nothing to make up an excuse for as long as we bring the boy back to Lord Kane. Alright. That's why he's called Haste. Boy just fucking books it. After all the trouble you went through to reach Britannia. What was it? Yes, you prepared a forbidden blood magic spell too. So tell me, what did you get? What were you able to achieve in the end? How do you... It'll take some time for your broken ribs to heal. You might want to speak slowly. How do you know that? My followers can be useful at times. They're perfect for blocking arrows and bullets, for example, and for gathering information. This time it happened to be the latter. After I had just woken up from a short nap from taking a sucker punch, I heard the most unexpected but interesting thing. That you put an end to Conwell Leno's long, miserable life for good. And then you went to Britannia and brought his son back. What a remarkable piece of news. You're a scum. Conwell was a saint compared to... Scum? No, scum. All I see are AI things saying it's short for scum when it's not. No, it doesn't even make sense as a typo, because if you say you are a scum, that still doesn't work. That I am. And Conwell is gone forever, all thanks to you. It's not gonna be long before I see the pathetic name of the Leno family deep in the mud. You can never kill Haze. Thought I broke your ribs, not your brain, Melissa. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of killing the kid, at least not yet. I've got something better planned for him. Act 2. The Prey 2. Just give up, Haste. No matter how long or how far you run, the result will be the same. So just come back with me. Stop following me. What did I tell you? You can't run forever. I understand how Lord Kane came off a bit tough at the beginning, but I can assure you he's not going to hurt you. Just think of it as his trial to grant you greater strength. I don't need greater strength. Meow. Haste. Meow.
I think
Oh,
I'm
great,
going to
reviving
faint.
enemies.
Yes.
If I must fight, purifying flame.
That's what this
Burn
game
away
needed.
the evil.
Enter the field with a free revive.
True love.
Let's not set a precedent for that, please.
Prove your worth. Don't
Not
let
set a
them
precedent
escape.
of punishing people who are dealing damage fast.
You can't close your eyes. Go away.
All right, let's do this.
Want to know about my family?
Luckily, we've got Ras to sometimes remove effects,
Attack.
you know, when he gets around to it.
You're spending all your life.
Or they regain them even after it's removed, because that's fucking fair.
All right.
Should we get started?
It literally just went back on with the same cooldown as before. That's definitely how that ability should work.
Paralyze me with your love. I think I'm going to
I'll
faint.
I smell living creatures. Don't let them escape.
Papa's going to eat his food today. I'll wrap you up tight. You can't close your eyes.
If I must fight.
Need help? Love. I believe in you, Papa.
I desire your flesh.
Okay. Give Fene all your love. Feel it. Papa loves me. I think I'm going to faint.
Renew your definition.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody move forward.
Fine.
Let's do this. Take this!
Nah. He's so persistent. This is why Villas was so wary of Abigail. Is she still following me? Haste. Nah. Huh? And like this, you played right into my hands. You see, young master? This is how you hunt small animals. Don't touch me, let me go! I don't think so. Took me a while to catch you know? Stop being a baby and behave. What the fuck was that? Yep. Yeah. Told you to let go of me. Meow. You brat. Did you actually just bite me? How that hurt? Elvira. Oh, Abigail, you arrived. Quick, grab that kid. I'm sure he won't be too far away. Look behind you. Not for nothing, but where did its most defining feature go? Jeez, that was close. When did it get so near me? Thank you, Abigail. I owe you one this time. Surprised you actually listened to what I said, though. If that was the norm, we probably wouldn't have so many problems. Serious... You know what, just forget it. Stay focused, Elvira. Looks like this creature has its eyes on us. Urgh. I am focused. The good news is that it looks like we're dealing with the Beast of Anguish. You must know all about its weak spots since you've always been interested in that beast. It's not. Sorry? It's not the Beast of Anguish. But it looks just like it. No tits. Ah. Completely different. It's coming this way, watch out! Meow. Okay, meow. This is the Beast of Dread. Doesn't usually roam around in broad daylight. In any case, it's wise to stand back for now. Is it that dangerous? It's dangerous to fight it by ourselves right now. First of all, I barely know anything about it. I only saw it once in my life. It was a long time ago from a distance. Secondly, it's not like we have great synergy together. That's true. I can't run anymore. But I have to. Save Melissa. I can't. But need to move. Need to open my eyes again and move. Haste. Now. Where's Zeligos? Haste, wake up. What happened to your face? Serendipity. I remember. Finally accepting it was a responsibility too heavy for me to bear. An ideal too high to reach. Finally realizing it was nothing but an illusion, a mere reflection of the halo over my family name, the day I faced the bare truth of my humble self. The day I finally decided to return to my land in disgrace, leaving behind all that doubtful mockery behind. Verbal diarrhea? You came by my tent and told me something. I still remember it all. Veronica, even if everyone in this world turns their back on you, I will always stand by your side. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing personal, okay? Certainly not about buttering up some highborn either. It's just, how should I put this? Never met a commander who said things as you did. What was it that I said? You said we could win. Said she wanted to believe in what I said. More specifically, she had the feeling that she could, although she couldn't really pinpoint why she thought that way. Captain, we found some marks. Looks like a group of people engaged in battle over there. Is it the Slayers who left with Claudia? Yes. Scan the area with a fine-tooth comb. Ah, why are you being so stubborn? Veronica, you're doing it again. You only want to hear your own thoughts. You've got to admit you can't always make the right call. It's not that I only want to hear my own thoughts. I simply made a decision, that's all. Yeah, I get it. You were just a bunch of idiots who don't seem to understand the simplest concepts. I don't even understand why I bother talking to you about this anyways. You're not going to listen to a word I say. You know it and I know it. I'll lead my patrol team and scout areas like a surveillance dog at your command. I know what you and Bernard are worried about, okay? I can't just go back on my word at this point. And Claudia, you're the only reason I made it this far. I was going to tell you this when we achieved true victory. Claudia, my friend. I don't want to sound so presumptuous. Do you think we can share some... You can share some with me? Share what with you? Whatever troubles you. Sure, it's about the Slayers, right? I may not be as brainy as you, but I'm very good at solving problems. You'd be surprised. Might be better for you not to know. What's that supposed to mean? Something I should keep a secret? Wait a minute, you don't trust me? Is that what it is, Captain? Not that. I like talking to people, and yeah, we sometimes gossip, but I can keep a secret. Why didn't I think of it back then? You might not be by my side. My only friend who always had my back could no longer be of this world. Captain, report. We found Claudia, but... Lead the way. I'm going to check it myself. Act 3. A bloody knot. The Beast of Dread appeared. Got in the way between you and the kid. While you two were caught off guard, he ran off. Is that correct? Yes. We were flustered by its sudden appearance. Did my best not to let haste get away. Are you sure? I'm sorry? Are you sure it was the Beast of Dread? Yes, I confirmed it. Is that so? Ah! How do you know about the Beast, Elvira? Hey, Green Ghost. Have you seen it before? A long time ago. A long time ago, huh? Exactly when are you referring to? Lord Kane. It was when I went out on my first patrol duty. That's back when you were still a loyal hound of Skugeheim, correct? Oh yeah, she does have pointed ears. Is she an elf who became a vampire? That's weird. I guess I didn't notice that the other ones didn't have pointed ears. The way they've been talking about vampires, they made it sound like only humans turned into them, but... Yes, that's correct. I saw it too, Lord Kane. I didn't recognize it right away since I've never seen it, but it was an enormous beast. Elvira's telling the truth. I know. I heard its howling too. Seems I finally managed to catch its attention. Saw someone do a move you previously thought was impossible. What kind of move? What do you mean? None of your concern. Abigail. I'm sorry? Follow me. Something you need to do for your sister. Alright. 2-gun volley from Blue Lock. I'll ask what the fuck that means and hope you'll explain. You mean Melissa? Yes. Don't make me repeat myself. But you said you'd take her in. And she threw that offer right back in my face. You were there. You saw how she stood against me with every fiber of her being. Let me talk to her one more time. No. What you need to do now is... either prove your loyalty to me, or I end your life. Right here, right now. Go finish her now. It'll be easier to do it before she regains her consciousness. Raisa. Kane's pretty fucking ruthless. I think I'll manage. They were here a couple of hours ago. They did try to cover their tracks. Looks like they missed a few spots. Hard to describe, it's a fake volley into an actual volley. And the manga looks like the ball just floats in front of him. Never thought about the ball bouncing off the ground to reach the other leg. Okay, but... not to sound like a complete noob to soccer, but I am one. Okay, thank you. A volley is kicking the ball without it touching the ground. That's the part I was gonna ask next. There's no one here. How about on your end? Yeah, same. There's that... Ah! Sit. Hold on a sec. Everyone, come over here now. Think I found her. Is she alive? Yeah, but she's unconscious. This Kane fellow's a real piece of work, isn't he? Look at all her injuries. It's because of me. Isn't it a bit weird, though? Why would they leave Melissa here without finishing her off? Could have used her to lure us right into their trap. That's exactly why I checked the perimeter around the area first. I didn't find anything suspicious. I double-checked, just in case Sid missed something. What? You're the one who always missed... Enough. I need to transport Melissa somewhere safe. Maybe the vampires... Mr. Eligos? Yeah, what I'm trying to say is... it's possible that Kane and his followers haven't left for good. Given we don't know who we're up against, we cannot waste a single second dawdling here. Leave the mission immediately and move to a safer area. Act 4. A Bloody Knot. 2. Came a little later than expected, Captain Veronica. The fuck are you? Yeah, I had to run some errands. By the way, thank you for being on board with this plan, Sir Bernard. I was worried you might refuse. Ah, come on. No, I'd never say no to new adventures and innovative ideas. Especially if it has something to do with the Tree of Genesis. No, of course. How come you didn't bring Claudia along as usual? Just head inside first. Ah. I see. It was Kane. I'm so sorry, Captain. I don't know what to say. I'm going to place her remains in this fortress. Of course, if it was solely up to me, I'd like to give her a proper burial in her hometown. But I can't. It's too late for me to go back now. You're right. Sure, Claudia wouldn't want that either. How's the situation here? Based on what I saw on my way in, everyone seems a bit anxious. You saw it correctly. We're getting raided by those vampire followers left and right these days. Come to think of it may have something to do with Kane and his recent return. That sounds about right. One more thing. That is deeply programmed in there. Patrol unit dispatched outside the fortress a few days ago hasn't returned yet. I don't have enough manpower to send out a search party, so I was waiting for your command. I see. Let's head out as soon as everyone gets back from their break, but this whole thing could be Kane's elaborate ruse, so we need to stay vigilant at all times. What whole thing are you talking about? You think the missing unit could still be alive? Shouldn't get my hopes up too high, huh? There's even a glimmer of hope, no matter how small, it's worth a try, Lord Bernard. Yeah. Think of it this way. It's the only source of hope for those who follow us. Grr. That beast of anguish has been spotted so frequently these days. Did hear it was seen in the east, but it baffles me when it's come all the way across the continent. Wrong beast. Ah! Oh, we're scared and running away. Growling. Could that be the beast of dread? Well, what should we do? We can't handle a beast of that size on our own. Way too close for us to make a safe retreat. Engage in battle, then power through. Hostile entity discovered. Everyone get into your battle formations.
I'm scared.
Alright, how do you work? They're about an end of the turn. Increase crit resist and defense for a turn. Being attacked and health is half or less ends the battle. Okay, only have to get half, but 60% more defense and 50% crit resist? That's basically permanently. Attacking, recover the caster's health proportional to damage dealt. Okay. Inflicts injuries. Okay. Severity of injuries, increase proportional to damage dealt. Injuries decrease max health to target by up to 15% every time the skill is used. Does not trigger a counterattack. Why? Decreases critical hit resistance by 50%. Third turn inflicts fear on all enemies. End of the turn, the enemy's stacked fear is 4, dispels fear, and all buffs from the target for stunning for a turn. Ignores effect resists. End of the enemy's turn, increase combat awareness by caster by 15%.
Should we get started? No destiny can stop
Everyone
me.
get some defense.
Found you. Don't let
Why did
them
she get
escape.
2 stacks of it?
What do you know about my family? I love you. Stay with me.
All right, let's do this. Here.
Certainly.
You can't close your eyes. Go away. I was going to eat his food today. I'll wrap you up.
Okay, just keep hitting.
I desire your flesh. Attack.
The really bullshit mechanic that it just straight up
I'm going to sleep.
can't have
If I
crits
must fight.
triggered again. That it just straight up can't have counterattacks triggered against it.
This won't be an easy
There is
fight.
no feasible reason to add that to it other than to make it harder. Oh cool, the 1% chance. Love that shit. There, die. Fuck you. They really know how to make the bosses unfun by just having them ignore core mechanics of the game. Yeah. Hey, easy there.
It's unfortunate, but you need to disappear.
Eligos just shows up and shoots it with a gun. Huh? Eligos? Who's that? A mercenary. The most unpredictable one amongst all. Ah, so you cannot just charge in without telling us. Especially when you told us not to meddle. It was an emergency. Rana could have gotten seriously injured if he hadn't. What timing, huh? What in the world are you doing here, Eligos? Have you been following us? You sure are imaginative. Huh? It's dangerous here. Run now. Haste? Hey, are you okay? What's wrong, Swifty? You dozing off? Guess you're still not feeling very well, huh? Yeah? No, I just heard a voice. A voice? You mean besides ours? Yeah, it was more like a whisper in my ear. Grr. Meow. Eh? Suddenly running away? Boss! I saw that too, Sid. Who? Sid? Follow that creature and find out where it's headed. I'm on it. Meow. Lord Bernard. Do you like me to follow it too, Captain? Don't do anything reckless. Just find out which direction it's going in, then come back, okay? Understood. Now, is she going to blame them for Claudia being dead because they were supposed to escort her? That'd actually be a reasonable thing. For once. Go finish her now. It'll be easier to do it before she regains her consciousness. Lord Kane, must I? You can't do it. You're certain. No, I can do this. Just relax your hands. That sounds like something else. Close your eyes and count slowly. Tap into your survival instinct and let it steer you. When that brief moment passes, you'll be relieved that you made the right choice. Yeah. No. You couldn't finish her. Ah, ah, ah! I knew you couldn't do it. I am truly sorry. That's enough. Now on to the next step. Drink my blood, Melissa. You cannot die yet. You're only useful to me if you're still alive. Melissa, come on, drink it. That's the only way you'll survive. Please. Okay. Although she was knocked unconscious, she drank Lord Kane's blood. Primal instinct kicked in the last minute, probably. With everything just happening according to Lord Kane's plans? He foresaw all the steps? He did, probably. What I did was the only choice available to me, probably. But... So, he didn't actually want her to kill Melissa. He was just fucking with her for fun? Ah, dang it. Forked Road, what should we do? You split up and cover each road. Or to avoid any direct contact with it anyway. No point in us staying together. I'll take left. Meow. That's good, I'll go right. How fitting. Weird. Feel like someone's been watching me. Can't sense anyone's presence nearby. Don't worry, Sid, that's just me. I'm always watching. Maybe I'm imagining things.
You can't close your eyes.
I'll protect you. Son of light. Burn!
True love. Give it to me. Paralyze me with your love.
I smell living creatures. Don't let them escape.
I'm scared. Yep. Wanna know about my family? I'll wrap you up too.
All right, let's do this. Yeah!
Prove your worth. This one.
I'll show you true love.
Time for the easy part.
Yes, Benny, all
But,
your love.
to be fair, I guess reading is the easy part if you really think about it.
I think I'm going to
If I must fight. Yeah!
I smell living creatures. Don't let them escape.
Papa's going to stay
Wrong.
today. I believe in you, Papa.
Swallow.
You can't close your eyes. Yep.
Should we get started? Yeah!
What do you know about my family? I'll wrap you up too. I'll show you true love. I love you. Stay with me forever.
Nah, I should
think I'm going
have
to
renewed my
If I must
definition.
fight.
Drat.
Take this!
Whatever. Yeah, that killed anyway. Ah, I see. I knew it was you. You're on my tail the moment Bernard and I split ways, weren't you? Yeah, I really didn't want to get involved with the Slayers, especially those human... Ah?
I believe I will win.
Ah! That could have been the last blow. How disappointing. Is that how you greet an old friend? You have no shame, don't you? And I give you a warm hug after seeing what you did to Swifty and Melissa. Who's Swift? Oh, you mean Haste. Sorry your friends are hurt, but it wasn't me. Lord Kane did all the hammering. He likes those kinds of things. Yeah, like you're so appalled by the thought of hurting people. Trying to say you're nothing like him? Certainly possible. Not like you follow orders from your leader because you agree with everything he says. If that's the case, I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. But my boss and I, we're usually on the same page. Really? I get what you're saying. I had a huge difference in opinions with my former boss. Because of that, everyone ostracized me and eventually chased me away. Saddest part is that I thought they were my friends. Maybe even my family. Of course, things worked out for the better now. I got to come to this world and meet everyone. This world? Oh yeah, I'm from space. What? And you're a vampire elf. You don't get to start questioning shit I say right now. No, those are things that are normal. What you said is weird. Wait a sec, why am I telling you all this? Just drop the Allen wrench I used to adjust my chair. Oopsies. Scared the fuck out of me. No. You hypnotized me, that's why. Can't believe I let my guard down even for a second in front of you. To be honest, I did consider it, but it was pretty hard for me to focus because I'm not feeling very well now. And it looks like I really didn't have to. But I know you're spilling your guts. Can you tell me why you came to Eurasia? You were sent by the Terranor government, right? Eek! How'd you know that? You just told me. Fuck! But don't worry too much. I'll keep it between us for now, and I too understand where you're coming from, to a certain extent. Having your back stabbed by those you thought were friends. Wait. I know exactly what that feels like. Then, see you around, Sid. Meow. What's her deal? He's an elf-turned-vampire, which seems to be exceptionally rare. Although, to be fair, there also don't seem to be that many vampires in general. I assume one of the main benefits of becoming a vampire is, greatly extended lifespan, but elves don't seem to age out, so that's not a big concern for them. Why'd she become a vampire? Claudia's funeral will be held shortly. You can come if you want. I do. By the way, Eligos, I'm not trying to question you or anything, so don't get me wrong. Just asking to get a better understanding of the situation. That day, I asked you to escort Claudia, and I saw you all leaving together. Did you not run into Cain back then when you parted ways with Claudia? Think I did. Face described him correctly. Okay, this is a part I didn't see. Whoa, what was that sound? There's someone coming this way. They're alone. They're the one that made that sound. Giant warhammer, aptly named the Tyrant's Descent. It's known to be wielded by the lords of the Drake family to signal the beginning and the end of wars. He probably stamped it on the ground and made the noise as he approached you to see if it would intimidate his opponents. Polly, enter stealth and stick close to me. Oh, we saw this part, I think. Right away. Sid, Pillis, wait here. I'll try talking to them first. We don't have much time to spare, so let's not make this any more difficult than it needs to be. Right up until the actual battle begins, he'd have that obnoxious look on his face. A mix of both confidence and depravity. Gaze down at his opponent with that red, distorted left eye. This is going to be fun. Did you make that sound just now? That's right. I was setting a beat and rhythm to the cadence for those brave young souls on their death march. Thanks for the encouragement, but I'm not going to die. At least not here, not today. I know that for sure. Something funny about what I said? Now I'm curious who you are. Certainly don't look like you're from around here. You can tell from miles away. I'm dressed the way I usually am for my hood, so I guess it wasn't much of a brainer. You're short by one head count. Probably hiding somewhere nearby, waiting for your signal. You noticed that, huh? And the other two over there seem to be pretty obedient too, maintaining just enough distance to jump in at any time. There's no way you're just a group of bandits roaming around aimlessly. Let me guess, you run a type of business that deals in death, don't you? Well, used to. Are you trying to say you washed your hands of that now? Then what are you supposed to be? A fugitive? Or a robber? Oh, a hitman maybe? I was just like you in the past. Climbed up to where you are now by stealing, robbing, cheating, and killing others. You talk as if you've met me before. I know exactly what type of man you are just by looking at your eyes. Because you and I were cut from the same cloth. We're survivors. Back then, I just thought I met an interesting lad. The type you'd like to share a drink or two with sometime later. Where are you headed? You're going to run into the Slayers if you keep walking that way. Ah, no worries. I've no bone to pick with them or anything. Visiting an old acquaintance that I'm indebted to. I, for one, always pay my debts. Old acquaintance he's indebted to? Fire! Sure, Claudia is smiling right now, seeing your face from above. Good. She loves that love to be surrounded by many people. She really liked you guys, especially... I enjoyed your company very much. Beneath the expressionless face she put up to hide her inner pain, felt a strange sense of kinship with her. I'm well aware she's going through, unfortunately, all too well. Are you okay? Yes, I just felt dizzy for a moment. Even if I'm not, I have to be. I can't stop here. I need to keep moving forward. Otherwise, there's no place for humans in Aracia to go but down. At that moment, a flashback of a moment that had been stored in the back of my mind pierced through my head like a bullet. Terranor needs to change. Otherwise, it'll slowly wither away. His ideal. His dream of making the world a better place. There is no room for error. We're fighting for their future now. I mustn't fail. The people of Terranor will never allow that. The sense of responsibility that weighed on his shoulders grew as tall as his dream. But if I had... Thanks to all the information you provided, I was able to identify who was after my life and came up with countermeasures. But I don't want to put you in more danger than necessary. You don't have to worry about that. You know, the jobs I've ever worked have been something that could be considered safe. Yeah, this was just like in the side story, that's what it's called. If we fail, you'd be a fugitive for the rest of your life. I don't care. If I had taken up my gun to resist the predetermined path laid before me. If I'd acted recklessly, despite knowing exactly what would happen afterwards. Are you still gonna go on your own? It's between him and me. Besides, I don't know if I'll make it out of this alive, but knowing that my drinking buddy might be waiting for me at the bar might be all the motivation I need to survive. You understand where I'm coming from, right? If I had decided to break my own code of survival, cross the point of no return, in order to save my friend. Eligos? Yeah? You still couldn't have stopped it. Back then, even if you knew it was Cain, you couldn't have saved Claudia. Your weapons wouldn't have left even a scratch on his real heart, so you don't need to blame yourself for something you had no power over to begin with. Sure, Claudia wouldn't want that either. Okay, so, because it was Cain specifically that killed Claudia, she's kind of willing to let bygones be bygones, because she knows there's not shit they could have done anyways. Mr. Eligos, boss. Gather everyone, I have something to tell you. Melissa hasn't opened her eyes yet. Mr. Eligos said he had something to tell us, so we should let him talk first, Taste. Put a hold on our missions for now. Going back to what we were doing earlier. It's not an official request, but a personal one. Mine, to be exact. But I'm going to need your help. Of course, we're Dagger Sakar. Understood, but we're going back as in... Our target is Cain. That being said, we must find a way to kill a vampire lord once and for all before catching him. That's all, you're dismissed. And when made this personal? Of all the characters who are idiots, I'm glad to see that it still has yet to be friggin' Eligos. Sure, basically everyone else has, but... no, most of Dagger Sakar's acted pretty reasonably. Terror comes in silence. Might amplify its effect with sounds, but it never voices its own presence. The moment it reveals its true self, loses the power and authority it once held. No, There's no way those are the bullets of the new moon. Ugh. Cain, the last vampire lord. Your death here on this day will mark the end of this war. Lord Cain? No? Well, I felt the excruciating pain of being burnt alive, I had a thought. I'm finally retiring from this long, fierce battle that seemed to have no end. Not bad. I heard their voice, which kept me awake. We're running out of time, hurry! He's losing too much blood, Elvira! From Elvira and Abigail's urgent voices, they tried their hardest to keep me alive. I heard the low, hushed voice that was buried deep in my memories. It was urging me to stay awake, stay alive. Lord Cain? Where's Elvira? I'm right here. Need the two of you to go and keep the Slayers busy for a while until I finish my hunt. Yes. Right away. This time, make sure you complete the task without fail. Act 7. The Hunter. Are they the patrol unit that went missing a few days ago? Yes, they are. Then he could be around here somewhere. Aren't you becoming a little too obsessed with Cain? Weren't you leading the Slayers to track him down too? If I remember correctly, that was exactly what you were doing when we met. That was before he woke up again. Now it's a completely different story since I don't even know if we'd stand a chance against him. You're just going to avoid him altogether? About taking revenge for Claudia? That's what matters to you the most right now, huh? For me? No, for us humans who are fighting for our lives in Aracia, we have a goal far more important than seeking revenge. You sure didn't fucking act like it with haste. Even if we somehow manage to kill Cain, another vampire lord will emerge from somewhere else. Not how that works. Descendants of those three families who sold their souls to the Tree of Genesis. Wait, souls to the Tree of Genesis? Two. As in, they serve it. They're extremely tenacious. Damn it. Whole reason I hurriedly put Cain to death at the beginning was to buy some time. Now we don't have a second to waste. The Shadow Elf... What about the Shadow Elves? No, nothing. I've said too much. So many things I'd like to ask you, but I'll do it some other time. By the way, about these corpses. It's clear they didn't die here. This is merely the dumping grounds. What? This is most likely one of his dirty traps. Either he's after us or the fortress. How's Melissa? Not really well. Still hasn't touched the blood packs. You think there's such a thing as first aid for vampires? I don't know. Incoming enemy attack! No way. Are they waiting until everyone had gone outside for reconnaissance? Over here, Bernard. There you are. Please help us form the defensive line. I have no idea where they even came from. They're swarming in endlessly.
I'm scared. Yep.
Yeah, we're not fighting like basic generic vampires at all. The vampires we've seen have, like, the vampire characters we've seen have been the only vampires we've seen.
Yes, Annie, all you're left. Give it to me. Paralyze me with your love. I think I'm going to faint. Yes.
All right.
No, that line. They sold their souls to the Tree of Genesis.
I'm going to eat you.
As though it was a decision the tree itself made.
Breathe no more.
Found you.
Not they stole power from it and changed themselves.
You can't close
Almost
your
as
eyes.
if it was some kind of deal with the devil, the way they were phrasing it. Is the Tree of Genesis not on the up and up? Noyes seems to not be, which is also a little dumb. I'm gonna level with you that one of the spirit lords, the foundations of the world itself, might be evil, and it happens to be the one following Shadow, because Shadow means evil to these insane bastards every time.
Here.
I desire don't let them escape.
And by these bastards, I mean the writers.
Give Benny all your love. I'll wrap you up tight. I think I'm going to faint.
If I must fight. Yeah!
I smell living creatures.
Okay. Papa's going to eat his food today. I believe in you, Papa. I'll show you true love.
Alright, I don't gotta worry about your resurrecting ass.
Papa loves me. You can't close your eyes.
Now, welcome to my world. Renew your definition.
My song. Shine free.
Should we get started? I hope you're ready.
Prove your worth. This one.
Dead. Is that the last one? We get them all? I think so, but we should prepare ourselves for the next... Ah! Right, you should always be prepared for the next wave of attack. What a smart cookie you are. Kane. Ah. No. Easy there, Miss Shadow Knight. Unless... you want to see your precious little boy drawing his last breath. Do not lay a finger on haste. Yeah, I don't intend to, at least not today, because... I have my eye on something else today. Took the bait as expected. See you later, kiddo. Wait until I come find you. What? Is he calling the beasts? The beasts seem to be hunting the lords, or at least looking for them in some way. Though, the Beast of Dread, it seemed like it was what talked to him. Warned him it's not safe here. That's the impression I got. It might have been something else warning him of the Beast of Dread, but right after it said that, the Beast of Dread ran. Like it was what gave him the warning and then ran. And now he was put in danger and it showed up again. Although, it showed up before, after Elvira and Abigail, when Cain was being taken by them. Is it coming to protect Cain? It's doing that again now, it seems like. Whenever Cain's in serious danger, the Beast of Dread seems to show up. He got a warning when he came near it again? I wonder. Are the beasts, perhaps... I'm gonna say this is a theory. We'll find out if it's right. What if the beasts are the other vampire lords who have died, but they just kind of keep going anyway? And maybe that one is Cain's father. The Beast of Dread is. The Beast of, the other beast could be anything. It's clearly a woman, though. Or at least it used to be. A monster. Beast of Dread tries to avoid a fight, Cain drives it into a corner. What's on his mind is... And we'll get another 4-star artifact for this. NPC Cain. This is so crazy. It is interesting that the closest thing to a main antagonist we have in Cain is now assisting. At least I'm playing from his perspective, sort of, for this one. Monsters are born in the back alleys of Sangarat every day. Children left to die in the streets survive and become thieves. Lies and betrayals turn into cruel conspiracies, taking millions of lives. In the streets, everything gets shrouded and distorted by ill will. The rumor about 2 hideous beasts was no exception. There's really an urban legend passed down from those fallen vampire nobles. But murderers used it to cover their tracks, murderers, turning their crimes into accidents. So I never trusted the legends. Until he voiced himself to save me, to awaken me. I realized he was real because the moment he felt me, I felt him too. Even after I could sense his existence, there was one question that remained unanswered. Why did he help me? What was he trying to gain from doing so? Did it help Cain before, too, then? Then I guess that theory's thrown out. It's something else. More importantly, who was he? Then he manifested himself once again, the day he raised his voice to wake me up, urging my second heart to keep on beating. When you came into my consciousness, I was able to take a glimpse of your forgotten memories buried deep within your subconscious. A past so blurry, so dreamlike, you couldn't even see it yourself. I managed to take a sneak peek at it, although only for an instant. I know now, I know who you are. I guess I don't know the full timeline of when Leno died versus when he awakened. Ooh, animation! Why is he fighting it now is the question. Ah, ah, ah! How pathetic, is that the best you can do? Grr. Wait a second. Is that hesitation I just detected in your eyes? You still have a shred of humanity left in you? No. What you have left is an obsession. A foolish attachment to your bloodline. That's what you are. And I'll prove it to you. Maybe Cain's own ancestor, then. If you don't stop me now, Haste Leno will never survive. Because I'm going to track him down wherever he goes and end his life. You should know by now I don't bluff. So I suggest you come at me with all your might. Horse.
I'm scared.
Okay, got a free turn right at the beginning.
Yes!
I'll protect you. No destiny can stop me!
We all have a can't be buffed on us. That's really fucking stupid. That you got to do that for free at the start of the fight.
I smell living creatures.
No resource use at all, just... Nope, now you don't get your buffs. For so fucking long, in fact.
Alright, let's do this.
I desire your... Don't let them escape.
Alright, he got stunned.
I think I'm going to faint.
He can just do it fucking endlessly. I can't use characters who use buffs. I mean, I'm gonna win anyway, but again, you made a boss that, while not difficult, it sucks all the fun out of it.
This won't be an easy fight.
It's going to eat hamsters today.
Like, oh good, I can't buff at all during this fight unless I get remarkably lucky.
Go away.
So, literally no character at all is good against this. So good to know. You just need to throw stat sticks at him.
I'm going to faint.
Word on game design. If you need to disable a basic function of strategy, like a basic function, completely disable it to make the boss fight any good, you failed to make a good boss fight already. Like, unless you have to make it so that your player has to play around it, not your player can't play around it. The most I could do would be use Momo to remove the debuffs every time they're up. But I think she's the only character with debuff removal that frequent. So if someone wasn't using Momo, they'd have to go build her to make this work, or just have stats on characters so much that they can win regardless of it. Which, again, that means I'm not strategizing. Damien Leno. The lord of the Leno family once ruled over the largest territory in Sangarat. He was one of the 3 original vampire lords who had traded their souls with the Tree of Genesis in exchange for immortality long ago. Rumor has it he retained his youth for over hundreds of years. Blessed with time, he ruled his land with blood and terror, and one day just disappeared like a puff of smoke. Coincidentally, that's when a giant beast was spotted roaming around. The people of Sangarat said, "The beast of dread rose as the lord of dread fell." It makes sense, doesn't it? But Damien Lenault didn't vanish for good. Some sporadic records of eyewitnesses afterwards. After his sudden disappearance, he met a lady named Isabelle, who had been banished by the Drake family for an unknown reason and fell madly in love with her. But by a twist of fate, their love didn't last long because the curse he was under had already reached its limit, and his primal instincts took over his consciousness entirely. Now he could never return to the way he was. After you left, Isabel Drake died during childbirth. You already know about this, don't you? Father. So Cain is of both the Drake and Lenault bloodlines. He's a double lord, then. The kid had been fighting in order to survive. He tricked others before getting tricked, betrayed before getting betrayed, and killed before getting killed. The only thing you passed down to me was the grim future of the vampire race, which is on the verge of extinction. The unavoidable destiny to find the Tree of Genesis and beg for its mercy over my soul. Damn it. Dare. Nonetheless, I wage my own battles. I don't do it for others, so I'll crush them all. Interesting. You're nothing but an animal with a wretched soul, but you have a sense of kinship. I told you already, that's a foolish obsession. I'll end your pathetic life with my own hands. Don't be too sad, old man. I'm sure this is how you've been leading your life up until now. A monster devouring another monster. That's the way it goes. Chapter 6. Monster devouring a monster. End. Here's the question, did he literally drink its blood? Or was that just a thing? Was it another goddamn dust devil? Episode 6 feels remarkably short.
What do I sell?
Like,
Well,
maybe it's just because of how I've managed to schedule it now. That I'm getting through it so much faster. Or episode 5. Did I call it episode 6? Episode 6 isn't out yet. And it hasn't even been announced, frankly. I'm sure it'll come out at some point, and I'll be able to play it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Do-do-do. Scrolling through. Yeah, fucking capped out the limit break on it. All extra copies are just dunskies. Chapters are shorter, but unlike previous episodes, this one is 12 chapters long. Oh! Oh, I didn't realize that. Then I'm only halfway through it. Wow, I thought it was like, oh, I'm coming up on the end at this rate. Like, this... I was at the point where normally you'd start, like, getting towards the, alright, here's the bad guy, here's he gonna fit. No, I'm at the midpoint. Wow. Looking for anything else I can buff up. Oh yeah, he's on Tyrant's Descent. Oh yeah. Not quite the last day for this, but probably the last day I'll be streaming for this. I need to figure out what artifact to get from here. Like, then, okay, so, the caster... Do I need a... I don't have, like, a mage who wants this. And I'll stick to stuff I don't have yet. Like, I don't have a mage who... You know what artifacts I have in my 5-star roster? Sure. Let me arrange my extras to get rid of so I can show you. don't think I need multiple Dust Devils. Like, that one feels like, you put that on one person and you're fine on that. So if you want to use it at all. It does not strike me as one that I need to hang on to my bonus copies for. Same with Caladra. Like, Caladra is actually too specific to need it on more than one person at a time. Yeah, I'm fine. So I've got... arranged by name. Can I arrange them by... Just look at my 5 stars to start with. Little Queen's huge crown. This seems neat for countering barriers. Like, the barrier... I don't know how meta barriers are. Barriers seem good enough, at least. Like, they're preventative healing, essentially. And yeah, to counter someone who loves using barriers, this seems okay. This is too RNG to seem useful. 15% chance to stun? That would mean at capped effect, it would be 30%, which is still low. This is a high enough chance on its own. Alexa's Basket. Chance to increase attack, and also chance to increase greater attack at the start of the turn. There's someone with a lot of turns that seems, you know, that seems a bit better. Bastion of Perlutia. Caster in the alley in the back row, immunity for a turn. Barrier equivalent to 15% of the caster's max health for 2 turns. I mean, that's okay. Using a non-attack. This doesn't seem great because warriors in general don't have a lot of non-attack skills as far as I've seen. And if they do, it's to buff themselves, which I guess that'd be fine. One of the most annoying artifacts in the game. Toss it on a mage with a lot of AoE and effectiveness, and every turn you get 4... Okay, yeah, no, actually. The fact that it's not limited to single target. Yeah, no, I can see how that's annoying now. Yeah. Someone with only AoEs. Or at least a lot of them. And I feel like it's not too important to get multiple copies of your 5 stars to limit break them. At least I see people without limit breaking them a lot of the time. They're like, it's too hard to do that, don't bother. Border Coin is basically only for Kermia. Some tech on a couple ML5s, but other than that, it's pretty niche. That's what I was getting, like... Because on a warrior, that just doesn't seem amazing. Like, unless it's someone who grants themselves an extra turn with a non-attack skill. And in that case, I can see it being, oh, it's a buff on top of that. Broken Will of the Priest. He's a priest? Priest hit chance 10%. Attacking penetrates target's defense by 8%. On a knight, defense pen seems okay, because they don't have a lot of damage on their own. Hit chance seems okay-ish. I imagine the Pierce defense is the much more valuable one, but it's on a knight, and I feel like on knights you want to tank more. Dustine. Attack a single attack, heals the ally lowest to health by 8%. Yeah, this is good. This is good on her, I think this is good on basically any Soul Weaver who uses single attacks. Other than probably Fenny, because Fenny already has an AoE heal on her single attack. But you don't really need to... You want to give her more damage instead. Basically only for him. He does good damage, but for other knights is usually better. That makes sense. His face is on it. Creation and Destruction. For creation comes destruction, in fact. 10% chance for skill cooldown not to occur after using a skill. That's... on a warrior, it seems okay. Like, It's too RNG to be reliable, I think. That's my impression of it. Double-edged... decrescent. Not a word. It's a giga meme, super RNG, but it might get reworked someday. I assume if you're fucking around, it's just fun for that. Did I skip? I think I skipped this by accident. Dual chance 7%. It's not the caster's turn. Increase effectiveness 7%. So good for a mage who you can a DPS mage for sure. Someone you can invoke to have some kind of debuff on their on a bonus attack you can set up, like work with Ras, who can with correct attack tuning guarantee them. And you see this being useful for that. And increasing the dual attack chance also means you don't... It'll have some use on that, so I can see the use in this on a character with some debuffs on their main, who also wants to attack very often. Crown of Glory. Ally suffers an attack that targets all allies, decreased damage suffered 10%, course. Removes 5 soul from the enemy. Oh. So... this is good for enemies who like to use AoEs a lot. Just counter them up with this on your knight. Those AoEs are doing 10% less, and they're losing soul every time they do it. That's hurts. Although, I see plenty of AoE segments that don't even have to rely on their soul to do shit. They'll just debuff you to such an extent on turn 1 that you don't even get to fucking play. Increase evasion 20%, successfully evading, 15% chance to counterattack. Crimson Moon is sort of niche tech. Mages also have access to book. Crown of Glory can be pretty annoying tech, really mess up cleave set. Yeah. This immediately struck me as good tech for cleave setups. This niche tech, like, there's a mage who applies debuffs with their skill 1, so you can get dual attacks out. It's still RNG, because dual attacks are always RNG. Like, I know for a fact, or at least I'm pretty damn sure I know what the best mage one is. Like, almost without question. Like, other than specific setups. Double-edged decrescent. If it's a character who already has an evasion, this would be pretty good on them, because then their evasion's even higher. The chance to counterattack... maybe? This seems like, for a character who wants to evade a lot, this could be useful for them, like, friggin... wouldn't Violet be good with this? Village is super niche. Counter thieves, you run Hostess since they're slow. Evasion units aren't really that good anymore, but when they work, they can steal wins. Like, I can see this working on, like, Violet, who already has a passive evasion on him. You know, assuming evasion stacks. If it doesn't, then this is worthless to everyone I can imagine. Fairy Tale and Nightmare, like, after an extra attack, counterattack, dual attack, 60% chance to dispel a buff from the target, 100% chance for 1500 bonus fixed damage. I've got this on my ADS. I capped it as much as it would go, because I like it. She gets plenty of extra attacks. With it, this just buffs her counters. Realistically, I might want to switch off this for story mode to get... actually, no, I don't end up using soul until the last thing, so I think this is doing exactly what it needs to do for me right now. Frantic Flight, again, I have this, I only need the last piece. Fairy Tale for Nightmare is bias for DPS builds on extra attack mages. His, Solitaria, Harsetti, ADS, is Biss. Best in slot. Right. I know best in slot. That's... other games use that too. Frantic Flight, the crit chance... hang on. Oh, yeah. This is currently invaluable on my Fenny, who I haven't been able to quite tweak the last 1%. This gives her the last 1% crit chance we needs. Increasing her attack and crit chance damage 3.4% to stack up to 6 times. I know it's basically worthless in PvP, because in PvP you're not getting 6 attacks. You're just not. But for the way I'm setting it up, where she usually gets, like, all these turns to set up, she can just tear down bosses at the end of runs. So I think this is doing what it needs to do. Glow Wings. Using a non-attack skill, grants a barrier equivalent to 10% of the caster's max health to all allies for 10... Ah, yes. This one I was recommended. Or was I? No, this isn't it. Because it's only for non-attack skills. Only be activated once every 3 turns. Artifact skill effect can only apply to one hero within a team. Yeah, no, this is just kind of bad. I think I got this randomly, actually. What was it I got? I know I picked up an archer one that was greatly recommended. Because it just makes some archers actually usable. 50% chance to be revived. Yeah, I got this randomly today. From the event Covenant summon. It seems... If I kept it out at 100% chance for a free revive, it seems like it could be kind of good there, but... Even then... On a knight... Isn't there other stuff I'd want to give a knight instead to protect the rest of my team rather than the knight himself? Like, if he dies, that means he did his job of eating all the hits. Like, yeah, this lets him take one... It doesn't seem bad, it just... I feel like there's other stuff I'd rather have my knight doing passively, like... Crown of Glory, for instance, I feel like I'd rather use. Homage to Tarman. Allies attacked, damage suffered is equivalent to 25% or more max health, grants a barrier to the target for 2 turns. It's 10% of the caster's max health. Holy Sack is for knights that you want to be hard to kill. Mort, Crow, some people run on Abyssal Euphine. Ah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah, so knights who want to keep putting out buffs on the party. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because Mort's got those massive barriers he puts on everyone in immunity and shit. Though, essentially giving him one-time immortality isn't so bad. I mean, I guess this counters one-shots. Well, no, it doesn't, because if they're one-shot, this won't go off. Skills with the caster's max... I mean, I guess I can see this being useful, but... For Soul Weaver, there's other stuff I'd rather use a lot of the time. Idol's Cheer. An attack increase... This is like... Okay, for Cleave, this will let my Soul Weaver get to go off and put out their heals faster. So, this is good anti-Cleave tech. I can see that. Other than that, I generally don't want my Soul Weaver getting hit. Maj is basically worse Guardian Ice Crystal. Needs a rework, because with the class summon system, we're gonna get E7 brand Ice Crystal at some point. Noted. Indestructible Gators. Okay. That's fun. Raise attack 10%. Non-crit is made when attacking with a single attack. 50% chance to burn. Only be activated once per turn. If there's a warrior who doesn't use crits, this still isn't that good because it's a random chance to apply a dot. Idol's Cheer is pretty good. One of the few artifacts lets your Soul Weaver generate tempo. Yeah. Like, I guess in PvP, people are definitely going to attack your Soul Weaver first. So, yeah, now that I think about it. I'm thinking in PvE and false PvP senses where the AI is just gonna attack wherever the fuck it feels like and you have no control over it. But no, in PvP, where they're definitely gonna go for it first, this will let my own damage get up first. So, yeah, no, that's actually pretty useful. Is there a character that can both detonate burns and doesn't want to crit? And uses single attacks? Unless there's a character like that, I don't see this being good at all. They have to have some interaction with burn. They have to not want to crit for some reason. They have to be a warrior. Never seen her artifact before this point, so I'm gonna assume it's basically only for her and ML Kawazu. But doesn't she want crits? Can she not? Does she have a skill that doesn't crit? I actually don't know how she works off the top of my head. I think I have her. Redfall can't crit. Oh. Even then, it's random chance if you're gonna get the burn. Like, unless you limit break this thing... Okay. Knowledge Seed. On receiving lethal, 50% chance to grant all allies, except for the caster, random buff for 2 turns. Well, the thing is, I don't want my mage to die, and I don't want there to be a random chance for them to give shit when they do die. Now, granted, it says receiving lethal damage. It doesn't say they can't come back after the lethal damage, so... I don't know, maybe there's someone who can repeatedly off themselves or something. You can abuse that. I don't know. This is for Mercedes exclusively, and it's okay. It's very low chance to activate, so it's like, meh. It is the worst artifact in the game. Mages have lots of really good artifacts, and Seed wants your mage to die. No reason to run it over Book or Crown. Okay, yeah. Okay. I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. Monica of Control. Increase crit chance by 15%, hit chance by 10% on single attack. On a thief? I feel like a thief should already have their crit chance high enough. And, like... I guess this would be good on a thief. I can't tune out the last bit of crit chance. And the hit chance... it's niche. It's niche. Merciless Glutton. Single attack, increased damage dealt 8%. Defeating the enemy with single attack, increase combat radius of all allies except for the caster 6%. Okay, so this seems good on a warrior who's killing stuff. If you're a warrior who is your DPS. Especially if they're single attack, like, taking stuff out in a hit or two. I can see this being quite useful on a warrior who can, like, one-shot stuff. One shot with a single attack. I can see this putting in work and letting you snowball out of control. But if that's not a feasible strategy, then you'd have other options. It's just for says, Euphinae's already is pretty good for Euphinae cleave shenanigans. Rise of a Monarch. Increase defense of all allies 10%. End of the turn grants a barrier equivalent to 8% of caster's max health 2 turns. The ally except for the caster with the lowest health. I mean, this just seems decently good on knights. Like, just in general, if you don't have a... I think the one that lets them take damage for the rest of the party is probably slightly better, but this is also good. And the barrier... since it scales with the equipped max health, then it'd actually be decently sized. Especially on some squishier characters. Though it's at the end of the turn, but also the defense... This seems like a good general use on your knight who wants your party to be alive. It's an interesting one. It's most used on Empyrean Ilinav. She's so versatile, she has like 5 different builds, all with different artifacts. Interesting. Sacred Tree Branch. Increase effectiveness 15%, that's not bad. Attacking, increase combat radius of the caster. The ally except for the caster with the highest attack 10%. Artifact skill effect can only apply to one hero within a team. This kind of seems like a better version of Idle Cheer. Like, okay. It doesn't actually say how much it no, here it does. Now, it doesn't increase it by as much, but... I don't know, if I have a Soul Weaver taking tons of turns, this... it's only after attacking, actually. No, I can see... But it also applies to the caster. So I guess it's just what Soul Weaver wants to do attacks and what Soul Weaver doesn't, would be the difference between these. And I guess one who wants to do attacks, they also get the effectiveness bonus. So I imagine there's Soul Weavers who want to use this. Hell, this wouldn't be terrible on Fenny. she wouldn't get a lot out of the effectiveness buff. Sharon and ML Sharon. I think I have ML Sharon. Actually, I might have both. Is the interesting part of that. Snow Crystal. Crit resist by 20%. The caster suffers a non-crit, increased combat readiness by 8%, only be activated once per turn. It increases durability of a warrior. It only works once per turn is the problem. But the combat readiness. I mean, I feel like there's... But it's the crit resist... But on a warrior is weird. Song of Stars. 50% chance for an enemy to become targeted for 2 turns after a single attack. Snow Crystal is good tech. Missing a crit and seeing them push up is pretty scary. That is okay, yeah. This doesn't seem very useful. Okay, if it's an AoE, on an AoE, I gotta remember for that, and they have good effectiveness on the 50%, then I can see this doing stuff. AoE Archer, I can see this, you know, you're just weakening the enemy. That seems okay. PvE Artifact, it's really good. Yeah, I think this was the one I was recommended to put on, like, the Bolognas. Because they'll throw out some AoEs, and then they can target a bunch of stuff. Spear of a New Dawn. So you're using a basic skill, 50% chance to inflict additional damage. Additional damage is proportional to caster's attack. On a knight? I mean, I guess Brig could use this, because he's a knight who wants to attack, but do any of the other ones want to? Can they? And it's chance-based. It's just more damage on a class that really doesn't do damage. And it's only on your basic skill, too. Sort of cycling seasons. I believe this is meant for friggin' Iden. If it were possible to obtain White Iden, or Light Iden, whatever, then I'm sure I'd put it on her. The evasion. The elemental advantage ability actually seems fucking useless. Spear of a New Dawn is basically only for Senya. The only knight that wants attack, other than Charles, but if he ever comes back, he's gonna want something else. Senya is also mostly run for tech with Mort's artifact. Now, this is intended for a character who is currently unobtainable. The evasion is cool. I guess the evasion by itself warrants putting this on a character sometimes. The elemental advantage, I don't have control over that most of the time. I mean, that seems like... Anything that forces you to have an elemental advantage is just kind of bad. Although, granted, Dark is a very common type, so... On Light Iden specifically, it might be okay. Sword of Judgment. 10% chance to attack again with a basic skill and the target survives a single attack. Only be activated once per turn. It seems okay. I've seen people run basically the same thing but for thieves. So I have to imagine this is at least okay on the archers who want it. It's just a chance, but it's a chance, it's okay. Sword of Summer Twilight. Using a skill that targets all enemies, penetrates defense 10%. Defeating an enemy with a skill that targets all enemies, increase combat areas so all eyes except the caster 10%. Yeah, this has got to be good on AoE thieves, if those exist. I mean, Vildred himself, actually, is an AoE thief. Sword of Judgment was basically only for Litica to cheese a certain abyss floor. Summer Sword is good for cleave. Yeah, I see that. Tyrant's Descent. An attacking increased damage dealt by 6%, an additional 3% for each debuff inflicted on the enemy, up to a maximum of 18%. I mean, if you've got a debuff-heavy team, I guess you could put this on a warrior who wants to do damage, I guess. It's not useless, but the thing is, it's not self-sufficient for the warrior, from what I can tell. It's alright. Yeah, it's alright. Like, if my team works with this, then yeah. Like, if I've got a team that puts on a lot of debuffs, I could do a lot of damage. Like, that 18% bonus damage is not nothing, and when it's at max, they'd probably go up to, what, 27%? That's not bad. I can see strategies where I'd want that. Umbral Keystones. Effectiveness of all allies by 10%. That's already kind of good. At the end of every 2 ally turns, except for the caster, increase combat radius of the caster to 10%. Only activated once every 2 turns. Well, yeah, it's because... Or only every 2 of your own turns. Maybe just every 2... Nah. Skill effect can only apply to 1 hero within a team. I mean, those last 2 lines hurt this some, but make me think it'd be busted as hell without them. On a mage... everyone's effectiveness up isn't bad. And letting you take more turns isn't bad. I guess. Like, I don't think it's useless. But it's not as good as Book or Crown. Famir's artifact is basically only for her. Effect designed to work perfectly with her kit. Fair enough. And I do have Famir. Let's quick check that. I've got most of the 3 stars in general, so let's just show my 5 and 4 stars for now. I don't think there's that. Let's see, Abigail, we've been seeing you. Hey, you work. Da, da, da. Got Arya. You're also relevant to the current plot. Basar. Hello, Matt Mercer. Basar, I have a few of his thing is funny. Bellona, I'm told she's amazing in PvE with the certain artifacts that make her suddenly busted as hell. And I think I have them. Bonmodel Kana, you exist. How do you work? To attack 2 enemies. I mean, that's okay. And her damage scales with her speed. Seems interesting. Available according to cooldown count at the start of the turn, takes a shelling stance. It's unavailable due to cooldown count, takes a striking stance. Only take 1 stance at a time. Shelling stance, effectiveness 40%, striking stance, speed and dual attack chance 5%. Huh. It lets her get to her full bombardment faster, and when it's online, it has a way higher chance to do its thing. Boost firepower to attack all enemies, 90%, which with this is well over 100%. Chance to spell a buff, before increasing attack of the caster for 2 turns. So she seems okay. Braig, I know he's good. I got an extra copy of him today, which was absurd. How does he work again? Attack the enemy, increases combat radius of the caster 15%. Okay, he wants to use his attack then. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health, of course. Attacking when Fighting Spirit is full, consumes all Fighting Spirit, dispel all debuffs from the caster. Kana was designed with Earth Expedition and Nightmare Raid in mind. She's really good there. Okay. All Fighting Spirit, dispel all debuffs from the caster. Activates Limitless Sword Arts against the enemy with the highest attack. Spirit Lord's Projection. So he's got Fighting Spirit. He's got Combat Radius on his skill 1, so he can go fairly frequently. Spirit Lord's Protection. Grants a barrier to all allies for 3 turns. Perception of the caster for 3 turns, which increases his crit chance and critical hit damage. Barrier Strength increases to his max health, so he buffs up the whole team, and you can soul burn it to give them even more barrier. And that Perception seems... Okay, if it works the way I think it does, Perception essentially would have full uptime. So you don't need to build his crit chance all the way up to get it there. And the crit damage is just gravy. Okay. Attacks the enemy with a sword, spelling all buffs before decreasing defense and speed for 2 turns. Increase effectiveness of the attack by 50% and damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Okay, so it just ignores 50% of resistance then, if I'm reading that right. Okay, so yeah, he seems really good. He removes all of the enemy's buffs, then debuffs them massively with that decreased speed and defense. He puts a barrier on the whole team. He essentially has 100% uptime on a passive ability. That means he only needs to build up to 85% crit chance. And then he can go more often because he's got this on his math. And... oh, yeah. And whenever his fighting spirit's full, he does his skill 3 for free. Which means its cooldown is actually a lot shorter than 6 turns. Or 5 at cap. Yeah, Brig, definitely good. And now that I've also found an extra copy of him, randomly, he's also giving the whole party extra thing. Or he can give himself extra health, which also seems really busted. Because his damage scales with his own health. Cecilia, you're okay. Destina, you've got that revive mechanic that's annoying as shit. Or do you? Am I thinking of Ruel? Oh, granted, you're where Ruel gets that ability, I'm sure. Dragon King Shadoon. I do have Shadoon. Dragon King. I might not have regular. No, I definitely do. 30% chance to stun. What class are you again? Soul Weaver. Okay. Target is stunned, increase combat areas to the ally, the highest attack set the caster 20%. And with Soul Burn, double the effect chance. Or increase the chance by 100%. That's better than doubling it, actually. So, up to 140% chance to stun. Wow. Lullaby for waves. End of someone's turn, allies inflicted with debuff, which prevents movement, grants Cascade to all allies. DK Shoryun is special. She's the first unit they changed the Zodiac sign of because her stat line was so bad. So she didn't used to be a Scorpio. Though the ally is stunned, sleeped, or feared. Cascades everyone. After attacking, deals 4,000 fixed damage to the target dispelled after attack. Wow. She's best in the slot with Renak. Well, I already didn't get Renak, so... There's our boy Eligos. We know how he works. He's cool. I might be interested in building him. Though I know he doesn't work how... He doesn't have, like, the setup to do what other Rangers people like do, but I like him. Fenris, I fucking hate you as a character, so I'm not using you. Hey, Tyria. I haven't used you in so long because you're kind of only good in the early game. Wumir. Attacks the enemy with an elemental reaction. 50% chance to decrease attack for 2 turns. Okay. Then you have the option to deny the opponent DK Shadoon. Renak is usually a pick on 1, so you get a chance to counterpick before they can pick synergies. I mean, I guess I can, but... Start of Fire and Earth Elemental Allies turns, at the start of the caster's turn. Grants Elemental Wisdom to the caster. Increase defense by 3% and can stack up to 3 times. And by an ally other than the caster stacks only once per element. Okay. Attacking on the caster's turn, Elemental Wisdom is stacked to 3, consumes all to activate Fruit of Knowledge. So I guess you have to tune her team up properly to make sure this works as fast as you can. Only be activated once every 4 turns. Fruit of Knowledge dispels all debuffs from all enemies, all buffs from all enemies, my mistake, and has a, at max 95% chance to put them to sleep before a, at max 80% chance to decrease their defense. Okay. Fabricates an illusion, decreasing buff duration of the enemy by a turn, and attacks, decreasing speed for 2 turns. Successful attack deals 3,000 fixed damage when the caster is granted Elemental Wisdom. Increases for each stack of Elemental Wisdom. So yeah, you want... Hang on. Okay, since that can only be since that has a cooldown on it, then you actually can have the stacks. I was like, wait, if that triggers every time, why would you ever need it stacked to 3? No. It has a cooldown on that trigger. Okay. That is not a small amount of fixed damage, either. And with Soul Burn, it will ignore effect resistance. Wow. I see why people want from me. I know Furious is really good at Wyvern grind. I don't care. Foyung! I assume it's pronounced that way. I'm probably wrong. Because I assumed it. I'll make an ass out of you and me. Attack with a kick. Successful attack inflicts additional damage proportional to the caster's attack. Okay. Attacking cannot trigger a critical hit, sure enough. Suffered from a critical hit decreases by... looks like 30% at max. More than one damage reduction is granted, only the strongest is applied. Start of the turn, the caster does not have a debuff, increase attack for 1 turn. Okay. Attacks the enemy with a secret technique and grants immunity and a barrier to the caster for 2 turns. Caster's attack is greater than the target's attack, penetrates the target's defense. Penetration rate increasing proportional to the difference, up to a maximum of 100%. Their strength increase proportional to the caster's attack. So... He seems like an attempt to make a no-crit character, but... yeah, no, I still don't want to apply a burn. I'm not looking at this and thinking, you know what would make her work? A burn on her skills. Like, no, I don't give a shit. It doesn't do much to buff her up. I'd rather put something on that just... I'd rather put a flat damage buff onto her. Immortal Wukong. I hear he was good for the season he was introduced and then never again. But he seems cool. Rui Bang. Grants a barrier to the caster for a turn. Increase proportional to the caster's attack. Good text against Genua. Alright. Used on the caster's turn, attacks all enemies. Oh, that's interesting. Change attack does that. Yeah, that's what you mentioned. So, you can't... so, like, triggering a bonus attack with Ras, it'll still be a single, but on his own turn, it's an AoE. That's interesting. Increase crit resistance and penetration resistance by 35, stacking up to... looks like... 50%. Caster suffers a non-crit, increase attack and speed 20%, stack up to 3 times. Wow. So, he seems very durable. The immortal one, of course. He is friggin' Sun Wukong. Robot Sun Wukong, also. Oh man, that's how I can get Ruka to play. Tell him Wukong's in the game. It's worked before. But do I want him to lose his life playing this? It's another question. Increase attack of the caster for 2 turns, before attacking the enemy and stunning for a turn. Caster's attack is greater than the target's attack. Damage dealt increases proportional to the difference up to a max of 70%. So this would make him really good at, like, assassinating, like, their supports. Heavenly Fighter's Strike. And stunning them as well. And it says stun, which means it's not a chance to happen, it just happens. Asaria, you're apparently good. I was told to, like, get you with my first guaranteed. Can you do stuff? Wukong S3 always has advantage in stuns. Genua S2 activates when he's less than half HP, cleanses himself, pushes him up, gives himself rage. When he reaches 1 HP, he gets immortality. If you stun him, his S2 doesn't proc, but he still gets the immortality at 1 HP. Alright. 50% chance, decrease thing, he has fighting spirit, burns. You seem okay, kid. He seems like he's been power crept, because he's a very old unit. Lilius, I've seen people use you. I don't care. I don't like you. Ludwig, I used to level up because I had him and he was new. And he's used in one-shot Wyvern comps. Alright. Lilica... didn't she used to be busted or something? I might be thinking of something else. Mui is only level 50 because I had a quest to make him level 50. Pavel You cool. Pay it, eh. Got you randomly. What do? I don't like regular Flan. Are you someone who only looks like her and not the actual Flan? If so, I can like you. Let me check. Yeah, you're from another universe, so I could potentially like you in some way. Yeah, she detonates bombs. I think I looked at her and she seemed cool. Politis. Don't like you. Villain is a bomb cleave hero. Haven't done her ML Theater. Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't done any. Okay, but Return Terra Phantasm has to be top tier, right? The fact that I refuse to sell him because I think he looks cool. He looks like the, he looks like the fused beast from friggin' Mega Man Battle Network from the anime. They didn't fuse in any of the games, but they turn into this winged tiger at the end of the anime, and it was really cool. Mega Man turns into a transformation of them to fight them. I'm not sure how he does that fully, but I like the design, so I'm keeping them, and you can't tell me not to. Seaside Bologna I picked up, because I was told to. Pass the enemy a fan, 60% chance to target the enemy for a turn. Every surviving ally, decreased damage suffered 10%, which makes her remarkably tanky. Allies attack, he gains a focus. The caster's stacked focus 5, consumes all focus, activates You're Not Cute. Attacks all enemies with a fan. 75% chance to inflict decreased defense. That goes up by... all it scales is the damage dealt. This actually scales up the effect chance up to 75%. So I guess she wants effectiveness. All enemies with spray water, dispelling all debuffs for a... at max 100% chance to inflict cannot buff and unhealable for 2 turns. Yeah, she seems quite good. I think I've been picked apart by her in turns. Says... You're a thief? I thought you were a mage. Weird. Attacks with Dark Enemy. 50% chance to make the enemy unhealable. Damage dealt increases proportional to the amount of the enemy's lost health, so he's good for finishing off enemies then. Die Hard. Damage suffered in one attack does not exceed... at max... 49% of max health. I think, 6... 64... 60... yeah... 51%? Release Dark Energy to attract all enemies. Increase combat areas to caster 30%. Damage dealt increase proportion. Yeah. Lethal damage to the enemy. Enemies defeated inflicts extinction. So he's good for... friggin' counter revive. Says a cleave hero. You build him no speed, full damage, push him up, and the enemy team disappears. Damage dealt increase proportional to the target's lost health. Yep. Increase damage dealt. Decrease cooldown, which I imagine isn't needed. He's supposed to just wipe them out. No, maybe it is. But it's scaling with their lost health means him going later is actually kind of beneficial to him. Here's regular Sharon. 70 attacks with chance to inflict venom. Target is inflicted with venom increases skill cooldowns by 1 turn. The target's skill cooldowns, right? So I can build you full effectiveness and make the enemy never able to do shit? Just trust me. End of an enemy's turn, for each buff granted to an enemy, 5% chance to increase combat readiness by 20%. Only a 5% chance? End of the turn grants random buff and a barrier to the ally, except for the caster, the highest attack 2 turns. Increase proportional to the caster's max health. Okay. Attacks all enemies, decrease buff duration by 2 turns before inflicting venom. So, Sharon wants the enemy to have buffs on them, but Sharon counters enemies that buff themselves up a lot. Just a lot. Cigarette, I had a level to get you up. You're also good for Wyvern. Nah. Solitary of the Snow, I got you on my random light. Attack with a staff, 75% chance to dispel a buff, which means it will never go off even once if Wrath is any indication. Caster is granted Daydream, activates Whoosh, Ha as an extra attack. Attacks all enemies with mana, 25% chance to stun for a turn. Considering it's hitting all of them, you can expect that to go off somewhat frequently, especially with effectiveness. Increase the amount of focus gained by the enemy by 100%. The enemy can't gain focus. Start of the turn, 70% chance to grant Daydream for a turn, which scales up to 100%. The end of the turn, 100% chance to grant Stealth for a turn. So the enemy can't have focus. She has permanent Stealth, and she can essentially permanently Daydream herself, so she always gets her extra attack. God, she seems annoying to fight. Decrease enemy's buff duration by a turn, and attacks with Starlight. Decreasing combat radius by 30%. Grants a barrier to the caster for 2 turns. Barrier strength increases proportional to her max health. Extends duration of buffs granted by the skill by a turn, grants an extra turn. Jesus Christ. I'm sure there's something wrong with her that I'm not looking at, but it seems like Solitaria just makes the enemy give up because they don't want to deal with her. That's what I'd do, I'm sure. Caillou. Solitaria is really nice here to have. Fully counters focus. You can build on Crown with F, or with Fairy Tale for a Nightmare. Only downside is she doesn't get stealth at battle start, so she can be sniped. Usually build her with some bulk to help mitigate that. Yeah, it also makes sense because the barrier she grants scales with her health, so you probably want to give her some health. I imagine health and effectiveness are the 2 stats she wants most. To increase the chance of removing the debuffs and increase the chance of applying the stuns. Because against 4 enemies, that's likely to get at least one of them stunned every time. But with effectiveness, very likely. Health, effectiveness, and speed. Yeah, that sounded like what she wants. Tamarin, of course, we all know Tamarin. She's really good in PvE. She seems decent in PvP, though. Like, she doesn't seem like she'd be bad, but I imagine her getting sniped before she can get off her skill. So, before she can trigger her skill 3. So, yeah. I know you got exclusive equipment that makes you really strong recently, because it just gives you stealth forever. Attack the enemy with a spear. Increase combat radius, caster 15%. The caster's turn, gain a focus. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Oh. So it's funny, the 2 characters who can have permanent soul, one of them hard counters the other one. That's interesting. She has stealth, but she also scales off her own health. Health stealth. That makes her amazingly durable, then. Increase crit chance by 20, scaling up to 3, 10, 30. Start a turn, gains a focus, and grants caster return. Focus is full, resets cooldown to Operation Cream Pastry. Attacking inflicts 2,000 fixed damage and injuries on all enemies. And injuries. Ugh. Severity of injuries increases proportional to fixed damage. Injuries decrease max health of target by up to 10%. Applied to heroes only. Yeah, we can't have them doing well in the PvE ever. Though she does injuries, she's remarkably durable. He bullies tanks. Used to run a survivability artifact, but EE lets her run a damage artifact now. Wow. And successful attack deals additional damage equal to 60% of injuries inflicted on the target. Wow. Yeah. More damage equals more injury equals bigger S3 pop damage. Yeah, she seems quite nice. Aiden, I can't unlock the version of you that's actually good, so bye. Victorica. I don't think you're great. Because you are now literally the first character we unlock. Like, get you before Ras and Mercedes now. So I can't imagine they made you viable in any way. EV hero, and sadly not a fantastic one. Good for new players, though. Yeah. I imagine episode 1 is easy peasy with Victorica, Ras... actually, no. Victorica, Ras, and Mercedes sounds like a terrible combo because they're all fucking fire. What is their obsession with making all the freebies fire right out the go? Ras being fire still doesn't make any fucking sense. You really should have been light from the get-go, and then if they... I don't know. It makes some sense for him to be fire later, a little, but that's after he absorbs the sun god's power. But even then, I'd still associate the sun more with light than with fire. And then he has earth powers as a fight. God, that pisses me off. Hey, Vildred. I'm just glad I have you. I like you. You're not the roast beef. I know the roast beef is... He's just been power crept too much for the roast beef to be good. And I think Vildred's probably in the same boat. They're very similar kits. Young Senya is anti-cleave. I picked her up solely so I could do the puzzle minigame for her Christmas event. I guess it wasn't fully a Christmas event. It wasn't a Christmas event at all, but I wanted... Vildred's good cleave. He's the only 5-star with a speed imprint, which is huge. To be fair, I do see that a lot. And his damage increases proportional to his speed, so he's very, very fast. And that's interesting, because his master is the fastest character in the game. I'm really sad that, you know, Rand's entire character arc of dealing with Vildred's death was relegated entirely to one scene in the side story. I feel like that could have been entire chapters of the episode he was in. And instead, it was nothing, because the person who wrote that amazing side story doesn't seem to have had anything to do with episode 5, or 4, either, actually. Didn't that person also write Charles's side story and most of the ones people liked? Just makes me more mad that they've left. Oh yeah, hey Eula and Yuna. We're the vampire half of episode 5 after he... Oh. No wonder that half has been good. Other than the one thing where Veronica just refused to listen to anything resembling reason and somehow acted like she had any leg to stand on, the fucking hypocrite that she is, when she attacked Haste. He's like, you broke our contract. No, no, no. You broke the contract when you attacked a member of the mercenary company you hired. That's called breaking a contract. You hired them. If he did anything to break the contract, you'd have reason to attack him, but he didn't. There was no contract that specified that no one on the crew can be vampire or it's null and void, because there was no written contract. You definitely broke it first. You're a hypocrite, and I don't like you, and if I get Veronica, I'm burning her. No, I'm not. I'm not burning any characters, Bino. Yeah, Eula, I fucking hate you. Mainly because I hate your boss fight because you had Reflect on you. And Yuna... There's a weird thing where she seemed to have a crush on Ras, and then that went nowhere. Because she wasn't in the story anymore, so why would it matter? Yeah, those are like my 5 and 4 star heroes. I've got 3 stars too, but I have basically all of them, and any I don't have, I'm guaranteed to get eventually. So, looking at these, gonna limit it to only unacquired for obvious reasons. So, Scroll of Shadows. It's a mage thing, and I feel like I have the mage stuff that's good. And it's just... It's not their turn, they do extra damage. After they attack, they have a chance to inflict a random debuff. It's... The extra damage is okay, but... Isn't there a thing that does that, but also has a higher chance for them to dual attack? That just seems better. Caster's crit chance and crit damage increase by 12% at the start of battle. Decreases by 1.2% every time the caster attacks, down to 6%. So... I guess on a mage who will do a one-shot, but... that doesn't seem like a big enough effect. Alensonox's Wrath. Increases critical hits chance by 15%, sure. Activating extra attack on the caster's turn, increase combat awareness by 10%. So, a warrior who has extra attacks seems pretty good on them. I imagine Alensonox herself might want it. I think she has extra turns, does she? Samsara Prayer Beads. Attacking with a single attack, increase damage dealt by 10%, sure. Attacked by a single attack, decrease damage suffered by 8%. I mean, the part of this that scales seems just okay. I feel like Warrior isn't usually their first target. They want to go for your healer and debuffs first. Wings of Light and Shadow. Increase crit chance 15%. On a knight? Alexia's is pretty good. Issue is she already has 45% innate crit chance, so an extra 15% on top makes hearing her kind of hard. You would need basically no crit chance. I mean... I assume you meant gearing her. Yeah. Well... I mean, okay. This means she has 60% innate crit chance with this. I don't know, it would finish tuning her if you didn't get to 100, although... I mean, I've run into that problem with Fenny already, but I guess if I had slightly better gear for her, I wouldn't, so I guess... Yeah. Yeah, crit chance on a knight. I guess Brieg wants that, but he has his own thing for that. Attacking increased damage dealt 7%. I mean, yeah, that's good. Critical hit increases damage of the next attack by an additional 4%. It's like, okay, I can see a crit knight that's pretty good on a character who does the crits. So like that, it's not bad, but I feel like most knights don't want that. Rui Jingu Bang. Increase crit chance 12% and crit resistance 20%. Immortal Wukong already has some crit resistance, up to 50%, so this could scale him up to 70% crit resist. He comes to mind first, so 78% crit resist seems absurd. Weasel Lane Shadow is I don't have anything better, so this will be fine for now. Yeah, it seems like any knight, there's no knight who technically is made worse by putting this on. How many are made better by putting it on? Not many, from what I can tell. But no, I feel like if I put this on Wukong... 70% crit resist, that seems like... Crit teams are just gonna be pissed. Increase effectiveness 35%. That is a lot of effectiveness. After attacking with a single attack, 35% chance to inflict a random debuff, only activated once per turn. So the effectiveness on it means it's functionally higher than that. It should be... By default, it's a little over 50% when it's capped, I think. Because I think the default one, you can get it 50% higher than it is. So it'd be 52.5%, and the extra effectiveness means it'd be a little higher. I guess on a thief who wants effectiveness, which I'm sure there's some. Rihanna and Luciella. Increase attack 10%. 10% chance to be granted an extra turn at the end of the turn. Only be activated once per turn. I mean, that just RNG chance to absolutely pop off. For a thief. Sigurd's Scythe. Increase attack 10%. Attacking the caster's health is half or less, absorbs 25% of the damage dealt its health. Ah. So, on a warrior who wants to get hit a lot, which I don't think there are too many. Or maybe there are. Actually, warriors don't mind getting hit so much. They're usually not as squishy as, like, mages and soul. They're almost as... They can be durable like the knights can, though not as durable as knights tend to be. So I guess that's okay. Road of Amaryllis. Heals the ally with the lowest health 12% after using a non-attack skill. I can see that being very useful on the ones who have non-attack skills very frequently. But then again, the ones who use their non-attack skills are usually healing with it. So, do you need even more? I guess you could. I mean, more healing isn't bad, but there is a point where you're just healing the over-healing, so... Stella Harpa. 30% chance to dispel a debuff from an ally after being attacked. I mean... scaling up to 45%. People are gonna go after Soul Weavers first. A lot of the time. I see the use for this. Golden Rose. That Abigail. And attacking if the caster's health is more than half, increase damage dealt 8%. When less than half, recovers 15% of damage dealt. Again, make your warrior pretty durable. Or, yeah, durable at lower health. But dealing more damage at higher health. Seems fine. Being attacked, increase combat readiness 4%. A caster's health is 75% or less, increase combat readiness an additional 4%. Okay, so on a warrior, you basically give up the durability that a lot of this other warrior stuff gives to just go more often, which... that's pretty good on a warrior. Beguiling Wings. Increase effect resist 15%. Using an attack except a basic skill. When a non-crit is made, removes 10 soul from the enemy. Can only be activated once every 4 turns. That doesn't seem great. I mean, really, couldn't Renak use this? Because her non-basic attacks are going to be up frequently. They're not going to be critting. And she's a thief, so... if I had Renak, maybe I'm the only one who thinks so, but... beating your enemy out of soul on Renak when she's already pretty good seems kinda decent. Dux Noctis. Dio Noctis. Whatever. 6% extra attack. Ally attacks, if they crit, increase attack of the caster 2% for each crit. Stack up to 6 times. I mean, it seems okay. Uberius' Tooth. 50% chance to inflict additional damage after attacking. Scale up to 75. Yeah, you just... the RNG makes this not amazing. Cradle of Life. 40% chance to inflict a random debuff for 2 turns after using a single attack. Legit Beguiling Winds tech on Renek. She goes first, eats soul, enemy cries. That's what I thought. I'm glad I picked up on that. I'm glad I recognized enough, like, hang on, Renek. I feel like Renek could get some use out of this on Soulburn teams. Let's see. Non-attack, 50% chance to grant stealth to the ally with the highest attack, except the caster 2 turns. Only activated once every 4 turns. Sort of an Amiki-only artifact. Nobody uses it as well as she does. Why does... I feel like I want to ask why. But at the same time, that would require me to know more about Amiki, which I don't want to do. Leave a fan. Effectiveness 20%. Using a non-attack skill, 50% chance to grant stealth to an ally at the highest attack. Yeah, I read this. I mean, ranger support that gives your damager stealth. Of course, 50% with that skill up to 75, and with the effectiveness scale up even higher. Maybe with enough effectiveness, you could genuinely guarantee it, especially since it gives you a nice buff towards doing that. Or is effectiveness only about getting over resistance, and it doesn't apply to buffing? And is good on ML Politis, not sure who else though. I don't have that character, so... Circus Fantasia. Crit chance 15%. Caster's effectiveness 25% at the start of battle. It decreases every time the caster attacks down to half of that. I mean, the crit chance is nice, but are there warriors who really want effectiveness at the start of battle and then not as much later on? I guess warriors who would apply debuffs turn 1 to, like, try to lock the enemy out of doing shit. The meme? I thought it might be a meme. Like, the effectiveness that scales down, I feel like warriors don't need that. Using an attack that targets all enemies, increase damage dealt 7%. 10% chance to increase skill cooldown by 1 turn. On a cleave mage, a damage buff of a little over 10%, and the 15% chance to increase skill cooldown, that's not terrible, but it's a little too RNG to be reliable, but the damage dealt is still there. Mages have much better options. Yeah, that's something I need to remember, because there's Tome and Crown on Mage. And Tome is good on almost... Okay, the way I look at Tome, I see literally any team can benefit from having a Mage with Tome on it. Because then you just get to start with some soul. And Tome's not even hard to get, either. Crown is a bit more niche, but doing more damage on debuffs is... At least that's what Crown is. Crown might be something else. 20 souls at game start is insane. Yeah, it's because it's a 4-star too, so you could get it to the max. Elbrus Ritual Sword. 10% chance to counterattack when an ally except for the caster is attacked. Scale up to 15%. I mean... It's okay. Like, the chance seems too small for it to give you a lot. And the counterattack itself isn't going to do much because you have to put this on your knight. Who's... Elbrus Charles once ran these streets. Really? So back... Okay, you've mentioned that Charles used to be, like, meta. But... And like, probably the first story I'm gonna do when I'm done with, like, main story to do is Charles. For 2 reasons. 1, because I like him, he seems cool. 2, I've been told his side story is really, really good. And 3, he's voiced by Crispin Freeman, which means I automatically love everything he does forever. Those factors mean it. So, what about this weird thing on Charles made it good? Did Charles have an innate counterattack chance for allies getting hit, and this made it a lot more common. If that were the thing, I could see that being really strong. Or, was Charles just really strong, and this was, back in the day, the only offensive knight skill to put on? Like, what? I'm genuinely curious how this, like, really buffed him up. Meta used to be less tanky and less damage was dealt overall. No power creep yet. He used to deal really good damage and completely cucked Cleave if he countered. Okay, so it went off knowing... Okay, to be fair, with Cleave, it would have a different trigger for each ally being attacked, so it would trigger 3 times, or 3 chances to trigger. I don't think it could trigger more than once on the same thing anyway. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And Charles was just a good damaging one, and it would sometimes let you get around Cleave. Sword of Autumn Eclipse. Attack of all allies 5%, increase hit chance of the caster by up to 15%. Only apply to one hero within a team. He would counter, deal 5k damage with S1, S2 would trigger, 7k, buffs are gone. They're squishy, they're dead. They're a knight, half their health is gone. Damn. That's interesting. Their small portrait doesn't always actually contain the large portrait. It actually is, like, from a different angle. The small portrait is the object itself, and the portrait will be of someone interacting with it. Like here, the Cradle of Life is the tube Mercedes was born in, but for this image, it's actually focused on Sigret kind of questioning her own existence. Anyway, this just seems okay. This seems like I don't have anything better to put on. Like, hit chance seems like something... From what I understand, hit chance doesn't fucking matter in PvE. Because people don't run evade, and the type matchup isn't a big deal. Attack of all allies is just... that's okay. Renewed Will. Attack of all allies by a scaling 5%, up to 7.5. Using an attack that targets all enemies, 50% chance to increase combat readiness, 75% chance of all allies by 15%. Only activated once every 3 turns, the artifact's skill effect can only apply to one hero within a team. So, on a cleaving ranger, this seems quite nice. You're giving your whole party extra attack, and you're giving them a chance to just... to move up. This seems useful on a ranger who's doing cleaves. And hey, it even applies to themselves. In theory. Noble Oath. As health decreases, defense and effect resistance increase up to 50%. I feel like this is too general to be good. Like, I feel like there's too many knights who could benefit from this themselves. Artifact for cleave, but if it doesn't proc, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, that's the thing. But like... Noble Oath is good on Barunka? Ah, yeah. Put this on a character... Like, this just seems like a character who really wants a lot of defense would... I almost feel like if you put this on, you'd build defense more than health. Just so it would scale up your defense more, and you could get to lower health faster to scale your defense even more. That's just the math in me thinking. Spirit's Breath. 50% chance to increase school cooldown by 1 turn when using a non-attack skill. Like, these chance to decrease your cooldown are nice, but it's RNG-based, which means it's not reliable. Spear of Sadism. Start of the turn grants a barrier to the caster for 2 turns. Attacking with a single attack, if the caster is granted a barrier, increased damage dealt increases by 10%. Or strength increases proportional to the caster's max health. Spirit's Breath used to be a good artifact to cheese PvE with A-lots. They reworked it and now it sucks. How did it used to work then? I'm curious. This just seems okay for characters who can get barriers frequently. But again, I feel like I feel like knights have better stuff they want for that. And for better damage, too. Ancient Dragon's Legacy. After the caster uses a non-attack skill, decrease skill cooldowns of all allies by 1 turn. And has a 50% chance to increase crit damage of the caster by 2 turns. Cooldown effect can only be activated once. You completely forgot? Fair enough. I can see this on a knight. I guess Morty himself might want this, because he's got the non-attack skills. And you'd want him to use this a little later in the team, in the lineup, after your team has already used all their skills, so you can get them back faster. So I see that being useful. I see that being good on Morty, because he's got that you want to use that really powerful thing. And then upping his crit damage afterwards, I guess could be good. Does he crit well? I don't know. I thought this said Dingus Orb. Ort's artifact can do some neat things. Put it on Senya, opponent does an opener S3 that increases cooldowns. Senya S2, decrease cooldowns, completely countered. Yeah. Dingus Orb. Barrier equivalent to 60% of attack for 2 turns if the caster uses a non-attack skill. Increase the damage of the next attack 15%. I can see this being useful on high attack mages, but it's not Tome or Crown, so it's hard for me to want it more than them. Touch of Rekos. Health of all allies by 5% after being attacked. Only be activated once per turn, proportional to the target's max health. So just another version of her passive also goes off, so even stronger. So I guess she would want this, but even then, I feel like the one that makes her basic attack also heal is a little better, because then you've got the barrier and the heal. Wind Rider. That's Renak. Raise attack 10%. Caster defeats an enemy with an attack. Casts stealth for 1 turn. Increase attack of the caster 20% for 1 turn at the start of their next turn. This looks like someone, for a thief, you want to keep killing them to stay stealth and have all your attack up. Like, kill, alright, I'm stealth, you can't hit me. My turn again. Kill, stealth, my turn, you can't hit me. Sword of Winter Shadow. Increase attack 15%. Using a non-attack, 50% chance each to gain 10 soul and remove 10 soul from the enemy. Soul can only be acquired once. So the RNG on this makes the soul gain a little bad, and it only can trigger once. But the fact that it also has a chance to remove it seems kind of nice. Super good on Genua. Your S2 he cuts and then he kills, now he's stealth. It pains me that Genua, the flat, dumbass character who barely got any spotlight, is apparently good. I want characters who do stuff in the story to be the good ones. Violet Talisman. Increase attack and evasion at the start of every turn. Stack up to 3 times, resets at the start of battle. It's okay. You don't have anything, but I mean, I guess Violet might use it, but there's something that increases evasion more that I'd rather put on him. The attack is okay. The caster uses a non-attack skill. Increase combat range as the caster 10%, acquires 10 soul. Nah. I guess for a ranger who uses a non-attack skill, is just get some soul. And yeah, the combat range is also nice. You see that doing something? On a support ranger? Time matter. Time no matter. Actually, time is matter. But you don't need to know. Talisman is a bit of a meme. But some people do use it on Renak. Huh. Guess if any character wants flat attack, it'd be her. Damage 6% when attacking. Enemy is killed by an attack. Increase the damage of the next attack by an additional 12%. Reduces skill cooldown by a turn. Reduction effect can only be activated once per skill. For Banshee, one-shot Vivian tech. Noted. Pure White Trust. Using a non-attack skill, gain 10 soul, 50% chance to increase your crit damage for 2 turns. Only get the soul once. I mean, it's just like that, but for warrior. It is crit damage instead of combat readiness, so, you know, not exactly the same. Twilight Calamity. Crit chance of all allies 5%. Increase effectiveness of the caster 15%. Can only apply to one hero within a team. I mean... It's not Tome or Crown. Increase hit chance 10%, crit damage by 15%. I mean, the hit chance isn't a big deal. Crit damage is okay. Seems too general to be used for more specified strategies that you want to put on archers. Ramadra Staff. Effect resist of all allies 20%, that's nice. Effects of healing received by all allies 20%, that also is kind of nice. Not stacked with other artifacts the same name. More than one increased healing effect is granted, only the strongest effect is applied. Yeah, this seems like any Soul Weaver who does AoE healing would want this. Like, but the problem is, it's not Wondrous Potion Vial, I see as a major point against it. I feel like that's the major point against a lot of Soul Weaver stuff. But then again, more damage-oriented Soul Weavers don't care about that. Or maybe they still do, actually. It's still strong. Shepherd of the Hollow. 20% evasion. Damage dealt increased by 6% when attacking. As health decreases, damage dealt increases up to a max of 12%. Makes them a little more durable with that evasion, which means they can actually possibly take advantage of that scaling attack boost. Scaling damage boost. Bloody Rose. 30% effectiveness on single attack. Attacking with a single attack, 25% chance to inflict Vampiric Touch on the target. Effect is not activated by counterattack, dual attack, or extra attack. It's low chance to happen, so... 25% chance to decrease skill cooldown by 1 at the beginning of the turn. RNG. If you're using a non-attack skill, increase combat readiness to the caster 10%. Next attack burns the target for 2 turns. I mean, the combat readiness after you use your non-attack is good. Shepherd is really good on BBK. Some evasion thieves use it well. Yeah, it's got that evasion. And characters who already have some evasion, that means they're gonna be sticking a little bit. That up their damage. So I see this working. I see this doing what it's obviously trying to do. And hell, on the front man himself, who can just be immortal for a while, it'd be quite nice to have that. Yeah, get to move your combat readiness after using a non-attack, and that part alone seems like way better than the burn, which who gives a fuck? Unless they detonate it. An offer you can't refuse, Elagos. Single attack, penetrate defense 15%. Single attack, and the target receives damage equivalent to half or more of their max health. 50 to 75% chance to increase combat readiness of all allies 15%. Only be activated once per turn. Atticus Scepter is good on slower ML Luna plays. ML Lunas. Basically just play for the chance to S2 every turn. I mean, yeah, but it's so RNG on it. This, again, the RNG. Any of them that have it's a 50% chance, I automatically look at as lesser, because it's like, okay, then what if it doesn't go off? Then I'm fucked. No, a single attack to penetrate defense some. On Elagos himself, that'd be useful. And if you hit him hard enough, you got a chance to... It is a chance to combat readiness everyone by 15%. Like, it is the entire party, and if that goes off, it's massively useful. If it doesn't go off, Spear Purification. Basically only for Elagos, part of the reason why he's used now. You don't say. Increase attack 10%. Enemy uses a non-attack skill. Increase combat range to caster 10%. Only be activated once per turn. Damn it. If not for that last part, this would be busted as hell. No, oh, so that's a you know what grinds my fucking gears? Basically, every effect that is increased combat range to the caster by X% that the player can get access to can only trigger once per turn. But when the enemies in PvE get it, it's every single time, and it's not RNG based. And like, fucking come on! Bird's Eye View. Using a non-attack skill, acquire 10 Skull. Only be activated once. It's Soul, but... and it's on Soul Weaver, so I guess... one time only get some Soul is kinda nice. Elegiac Candle. Attacking, 25% chance to decrease defense of the target for a turn. Okay. Increase effectiveness by scaling 15%. Non-attack skill, decrease skill cooldown by 1 turn. Only be activated 3 times per battle. I guess in PvP, you only... 3 times per battle is already a lot. I guess... nah, I guess for a thief who's... actually, this seems like it's gotta be used on a support thief, though. Doctor's Bag. Spells a debuff from all allies, recovers 7% of each ally's max health after using a non-activated skill. Only activate once every 3 turns. Not that good, because you can barely set it off. Iron Fan. Using an attack targets all enemies except for a basic skill. Increase combat readiness by 15%. Only activate once per turn. I mean, that's okay. Got AoEs on your S2 and S3. Increase the frequency you can use them. Justice for All. Is that the name of his glove? 50% chance to grant the caster a random buff. Wow, that seems shit. Random chance for a random buff. Wow, that's terrible. Is this the worst knight artifact? Yeah, it's bad. I'm glad I sussed that out. Bird's Eye View is good on Frida. Other than that, nobody uses it. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of really useful continuous Soul Weaver effects. And this is just shit. I have a random chance to get a buff I don't even pick. And it's on my knight. Like, okay. Like, if I could pick it, it'd be good, but you can't. It's just garbage. Secret Art Swordstorm. If an enemy uses a non-attack skill, combat raises the caster 12%, 50% chance to increase attack. Only activated once per turn. The combat readiness is guaranteed, and it's on Thief. Enemies in PvP are basically guaranteed to use non-attack stuff, so... it is only once per turn, but it's still nice. The 50% chance to trigger... I assume that's a different trigger, and if that doesn't trigger with the combat readiness, you still have that 50% chance every time they do something until it triggers. I assume that's how it works. And if it doesn't, boo-hoo. Or boo, actually. They're independent? I figured. They should be independent, because if they're not, this is just straight up bad. If they are, then, you know, I can imagine this getting its uses. Bloodstone. If they're attacking, heals the ally with the lowest health 13% of damage dealt. Oh, isn't this the one that makes rangers into a healer? Or one of the ones that can. That just seems nice. In general. And then Dark Bloodkeeper. Increase attack 15%. Not bad. Using a non-attack skill, grants a barrier equivalent to 35% of attack for 2 turns. Barrier can only be granted once every 3 turns. Well, that just seems nice. That just seems like it'd make your Thief nice and durable and also deal more damage. If you have an attack scaling Thief, I feel like this could just work on them. So, among these options, I feel like almost none of the mage ones are worth it at all. Because I feel like they're either very, very niche, or they're just worse than Tome. And Soul Weaver's in a similar spot, where it's either, I don't need, like for this, I don't need that much healing if I'm already healing. I'd rather use friggin'... This, I'd rather use Wondrous because it's more reliable. This is like a... maybe. This I see working. But again, there's a point where you don't need more healing. If you're healing correctly. The effect resist and the healing together, it's like, okay. This someone can use, but, like, yeah. It's between Harp, Raj, Kamadra, Bloodstone, or Celestine or Secret Art. Didn't see any good users of Sigurd Rose, there's probably between the others. Yeah, Sigurd was this one. Like, I don't think I have someone who wants this as the thing. I wish I could sort these by name. That would be nice, because the name alone often isn't enough to get me what I'm trying to look for. Golden Rose. Like, okay, who do I have that comes to mind that would want to use this? Like, granted, any warrior could get use out of this, like, early in the fight, they deal more damage, late in the fight, they heal themselves up. Like, it's useful no matter what it is straight up better Mighty Yaksha in every regard. Like, I want to hear the thoughts of who in your mind uses which one. Actually, you mentioned you didn't see a good one for Rose. And these two kind of fulfill the same thing, actually. Like, these fulfill the same role. I imagine one's probably slightly better for some characters, depending on the circumstance. Alright, but in that case... looks like there's not really a warrior one I'm too into. Best on non-attack scaling warriors, Sigurd is best on attack scaler. Same thing with a different kit. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't really see a knight one that fit me. Secret Art. But yeah, I don't see... Elbrus is good, but you didn't see any good users for it. Or was Elbrus? Was that, Yeah. I really don't have... I don't have characters who want to do that, is the thing, and... I feel like I have better anti-cleave options, even if I did. A Secret Art Swordstorm... But yeah, this just... My enemy's using non-attack stuff, my Thief's gonna get to go. Bloodstone, of course, just nice on almost any archer, I think. Or at least any archer who cares about their team. Because that scales up to just under 20% of their damage dealt, which, not a bad amount. Basically all the mage ones I was looking at, like, well... Interesting. There is a... Yeah. Wind Rider's good too. Almost forgot about it, but Genua is the main user. I have Genua. Like, he is a 3-star, you know? Like, I'm not missing him. I was just like, any 3 stars, I have them. If I don't have them, I'll get them. The thing is, I don't like Genua or want to use him. Like, the rod, I mean, I guess in PvP, you end up using more of your healing. In PvE, if you die, it's because you got locked from using any of your abilities and then one-shot. Rod is probably the safest bet. Okay. The thing is, the character I'm trying to picture in my head who will use this. Say, of my good Soul Weavers who I will use. Of my good Soul Weavers I use, Penny can't use this. She can't. She just straight up, she can never do shit with this. She doesn't have any non-attack skills. She literally can't use it. Tamarin could use this to boost up her healing. Momo could boost up her healing with this. Both of them would get a nice little boost to whoever's the most injured. And it's, yeah. Tama and Momo sometimes want it. Be situations where you do need the extra healing. Yes, I can see that. In PvE, I've not seen the need for that, and I think there's maybe like one more difficult fight in PvE I'm gonna have to do. But who knows what the future holds. Harpa, I don't know. No matter how I look at this. Okay, so look, in PvP I see this, I see the allure of this, where they're gonna try to go for my Soul Weaver healer first. And in doing so, there's a chance they're gonna cleanse some of my characters. In PvP, they almost are never gonna go for them. They're gonna go for whoever's in front first and foremost. Kamadra, giving everyone I feel like in PvE, giving everyone effect resistance would be very nice, but at the same time, all the worst fights just ignore your effect resistance anyway. Freezing everyone's healing received, I think this technically would give a bigger amount of that than this would. Sorry, I have to scroll up chat slightly to see what you were recommending before. What class was Celestine? I actually don't remember. Dumb. Might be dumb. Did I pass it and not notice? Am I dumb? Mind you, I'm only showing the ones I don't already have. Man, I wish I could sort these. Soul Weaver? Can I not see it? Am I dumb? Blue Crystal Meth? What the hell are you talking about? I'm looking at all of the Soul Weaver ones, there's not one here like that. I already have regular Celestine. Like, okay, you fucked weirding me out. Like, I actually have a bunch of 5-star Soul Weaver ones. I have 3 of these already. I already have Idol's Cheer, Sacred Tree Branch, and Celestine already. It's like... Celestine, I feel like fills a very similar role to Rod of Amaryllis. It heals less, but it goes off when my heal is on cooldown. So I think if I already have Celestine, I feel like Rod may not be something I need, necessarily. So, of the options, the one that lets, honestly, Bloodstone, the one that just lets Rangers become healers, seems pretty nice. Hey, that's one of the ones he recommended. Although, I do have some supporting, right, always be super good. Like, yeah, and I have both Bolognas, who I think either of whom could make good use of this, to my understanding. Like, I think you said before that regular Bologna just becomes a really strong healer with a Bloodstone on. And depending on how I set things up, it could be good. I think, with how ubiquitous it is, I think I'm going to pick up Bloodstone, yeah. Wow. I think we spent more time this stream, by a wide margin, trying to figure out what artifact for me to pick off of that than I spent doing story stuff. Because the story only lasted like an hour, and I've been streaming for 3 hours now. Actually, an artifact you wish you had 3 of. Oh, interesting. Yeah, wow, I went over where I usually do on a Monday stream. I think that's a good time to call it then. I'm gonna stop the recording for YouTube here. I don't know how many people would ever watch the 2 hours of deciding what artifact to use. Probably shouldn't have recorded that. Whatever. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.